Welcome, deep divers. Really excited for today's deep dive. We're going to be sharpening our online shopping skills, really looking at those tempting fashion deals online, and more importantly, how you can spot the potential problems that might be hiding there. Our case study today is a site called Nuvoria Boutique.
Yeah, and we're basing this on a really thorough YouTube review from Savage Reviews. The title was something like Nuvoria Boutique Review. Is it a total scam? 2025. What they found is, well, it's quite revealing.
Absolutely. And our goal here for you listening is really to break down the warning signs highlighted in that review. So by the end of this, you'll have like a better toolkit for being a smarter online shopper. You can look at those deals and know what to watch out for.
Okay, let's get right into it with Nuvoria Boutique. Savage Reviews pointed out something pretty big right away, something maybe easy to miss. The domain age. This site. Registered just last May 2025. That makes it, what, less than 6 months old? Which is, that's practically a baby for an online store. Right. And look, a new domain, it isn't automatically bad, of course not. Lots of legit businesses start somewhere, but it's often, let's say, the first weak spot. Especially if there aren't other signs of trust built up around it, it's definitely a flag.
That's a really good point. And it ties into the next thing, doesn't it? This sort of secrecy around who's actually behind the site. The source found the WHOIS info, the registration details completely hidden. They used one of those privacy services, Contact Privacy Inc. block, I think it was. So no real team listed, no verifiable address, just vague names like Philip and Mary mentioned somewhere. It doesn't exactly scream transparency.
Well, precisely. And if you think about it, that kind of opaqueness, hiding who you are, that's a classic move for operations that aren't quite trustworthy. You, as the buyer, you need some level of confidence, right? Knowing who you're actually giving your money to.
Yeah.
Hiding that info really undermines things.
Totally. And maybe that lack of openness allows other issues to pop up, like the really concerning scam detector scores they found. One tool apparently gave Nuvoria Boutique a trust score of like 17.7 out of 100. Ouch. Others flagged it too high risk, suspicious, dubious origin. And then you see those promotions. Final closure sale. Or stock is almost gone, hurry. Classic pressure tactics.
Yes. And it's interesting how those tactics work psychologically. They're designed to make you rush, to bypass your normal caution, not really give you a genuine good deal. It's always a bit risky for you, the buyer, when you feel that intense pressure. Honestly, sometimes you see these sites with final closure sales that seem to last for months. You wonder if they're ever not closing.
I know, right? But, okay, couldn't someone argue that's just, like, really aggressive marketing, not necessarily a scam? Where's that line?
That's a fair question. I think the line gets crossed when you see those tactics combined with everything else. The hidden owners, the super low trust scores, and especially what actual customers are saying.
Right, the real-world experiences. And according to the source, those reports aren't great. People talking about really long shipping delays, sometimes orders just never showing up at all, or getting items that, well, didn't look like the pictures online or felt really cheaply made.
Which often points to things like maybe drop shipping from suppliers they don't even control, or just zero quality control. What you see isn't what you get.
Exactly. And details like packaging arriving with no branding, missing labels, and return policies that sounded, frankly, almost impossible to actually use. But here's the really wild part. Some customers said they ordered, say, a dress or a coat, and instead they received, like, a tiny, cheap accessory, a ring or something.
Okay, now that goes beyond just disappointment or bad quality. If you order one thing and get something completely different and basically worthless, that starts looking less like bad business and more like, well, potential fraud.
Yeah, that's alarming. Now, Savage Reviews did mention the technical stuff briefly. They noted the site does use SSL HTTPS, so the connection is encrypted, but that doesn't automatically mean it's safe.
Yeah, not at all. SSL is. It's just basic nowadays. It's table stakes. Even outright scam sites use HTTPS because it's easy and cheap to get. So seeing that little padlock, it means almost nothing by itself in terms of trust. Plus, the review noted the domain was only registered for 1 year and hosted on a platform known for, like, quick setup stores. These are hallmarks of short-term operations, not a brand plan to stick around and build relationships. So yeah, when you put all these pieces together, the newness, the secrecy, the low scores, the bad reports, the pressure, it suggests Nuvoria Boutique is far more likely to be a disappointment or worse than to actually deliver what it promises, the recommendation. Pretty clear. Probably best to look for similar items on established platforms, places with known buyer protection.
Absolutely solid advice. This whole case really underlines why you need to be so vigilant when shopping online, especially, when a deal looks almost too good to believe. It often is. So Thinking beyond all these red flags we've talked about, here's something for you to consider. What are those subtler signs, maybe just a gut feeling, that you rely on when you're trying to decide if you can trust a new online store you've stumbled upon?